My 8-year-old son keeps drawing pictures of me killing our neighbors. Every person he draws dies the next day, exactly how he drew it. It started 2 weeks ago when my son Blake came home from school with a disturbing drawing. It showed a stick figure that looked like me standing over our neighbor Mrs. Patterson with a kitchen knife. The drawing showed Mrs. Patterson lying in her garden, surrounded by her prized roses. "Why did you draw this, buddy?" I asked him, trying to keep my voice calm. "I don't know, Dad," Blake said. "Sometimes pictures just come into my head and I have to draw them. My teacher says it's good to express my feelings through art. I figured it was just childhood imagination. But the next morning, I found Mrs. Patterson dead in her garden, stabbed multiple times with a kitchen knife. She was lying exactly where Blake had drawn her, surrounded by her roses. I convinced myself it was a horrible coincidence, until Blake brought home another drawing. This time it showed me pushing our neighbor Mr. Rodriguez down his basement stairs. Blake had even drawn the specific pattern of Mr. Rodriguez's plaid shirt. "Blake, where do these pictures come from?" I asked. "They just pop into my head, Dad, like watching a movie. I see you doing things, but you look different. Your eyes are different." 2 days later, Mr. Rodriguez was found dead at the bottom of his basement stairs. The scene matched Blake's drawing perfectly. That night, I watched Blake through his door as he drew at 2 a.m. His eyes were completely blank while he worked on another picture, this one showing me strangling Mrs. Chen from across the street in her kitchen. When he finished, he went back to bed with no memory of what he had done. The next morning, Mrs. Chen was found dead in her kitchen, strangled with a dish rag. The scene matched Blake's drawing exactly. I started researching Blake's teacher, Ms. Williams. What I found made my blood freeze. Ms. Williams wasn't actually a teacher. She was Dr. Sarah Williams, a former CIA psychologist who had worked on classified mind control programs in the 1990s. I discovered that Dr. Williams had been conducting unauthorized experiments on children at Blake's school. According to leaked documents, she was part of a program called Project Mindbridge that used children as triggers to activate sleeper agents. I found military records showing that I had undergone experimental psychological conditioning during my time in the Army 15 years ago. My memories of that period were surprisingly fuzzy. I had been turned into a sleeper assassin with no conscious memory of my training. Dr. Williams was using Blake to send me coded visual triggers that activated my programmed state. When I saw the drawings, something in my brain switched on, and I would enter a trance where I carried out the murders before my conscious mind returned. I set up a hidden camera in my bedroom. The footage was horrifying. At exactly 3 a.m., I would get up with blank eyes, retrieve weapons from hiding places I didn't remember creating, and leave the house to kill whoever Blake had drawn. I watched myself move with trained efficiency, using combat techniques I had no conscious memory of learning. After completing each kill, I would return home and go back to bed with no memory of what I had done. I found a folder in Blake's backpack labeled Target Acquisition, Phase 3. It contained photographs and personal information about every person in our neighborhood, along with detailed notes about their routines. Dr. Williams wasn't using me to kill random neighbors. These were specific targets. Mrs. Patterson had been a retired FBI agent. Mr. Rodriguez was a former military intelligence officer. Mrs. Chen was an investigative journalist. I found a note in Blake's handwriting that he clearly hadn't written himself. Subject responds perfectly to visual triggers. Assassination protocols fully functional. Moving to Phase 4.